Is it time to prepare? Is that a question you've been asking yourself? Is there sufficient reason for you to do something about the situation we're in? Is that what you're thinking about? Or maybe your question is it time that I begin to seriously prepare? Or maybe another question would be, should I begin to prepare again in earnest? Because earlier I had stopped. I do run into people in my day-to-day life, and they've got genuine concerns. Someone said, John, did you realize that Hillary Clinton is going to be the next president? And I said, yeah, I realize that possibility is very real. In fact, I predicted that months ago that there's nothing that's going to stop her unless the bitch dies. And he said, but the alternative is a reality game show businessman. And I said, yeah, right. We're living in surreal times. And he goes, well, fuck, what do we do? I go, you better prepare for the worst, I think is what I said. And then people say, well, John, what a couple of guys, we talk economics sometimes on the mornings. Because what was the deal with that gold dropping, $40, $50 in one day? $50 an ounce in one day. And then it's just kind of sitting there again. Why did it move? How did it move? What caused it? And I kept a little more of a sober mind frame in that discussion and just said, I don't know, but I'll tell you guys what I think. I think that they're seeing how easy it is to manipulate the gold down. I think that they're going to want to drive it down as much as they dare to cause a sell-off so that they can buy it again before the bubble breaks. If they can buy it at $1,100 or $1,000 or $900 an ounce, and then the bubble breaks, the economic Wall Street financial bubble, it could go up to $1,500, $1,800, $2,000. What do you do about it? Hedge your bets. But that to me was an indicator of the potential for turmoil, economic turmoil, social turmoil. Is it time for you to start preparing in earnest, and to pick up wherever you left off in the past and go with it? That's the question of this video. Is it time? Have you finally seen enough? What else do you need to see? The story of the ant and the grasshopper. What a parable. Right? The ant fucks around all the time. The grasshopper fucks around all the time. While times are good, it's nice and warm, having a good old time, just living day to day, while the ant puts away for the winter, for the hard times. And it's not like the grasshopper doesn't know. Just like you and I know. We know what's coming. If you're asking yourself, should I prepare? If you're asking yourself that, there's a reason that you should be. If there's a doubt in your mind, if there's an inkling that something could go wrong, like World War III with Russia and China, very real. And it just gets more real all the time. It gets more real all the time. The politics in America are getting worse. The political decisions made are getting worse. That doesn't bode well for things like you feeding your family. And it doesn't bode well for things like you having electricity, water, a supply of food that is healthy, reliable, and even there at all. That is the essence of the need to prepare. Just the basics. Once you get started on it, the basics, you'll see the benefit. when you look in your pantry, in your storage closet, and you see enough food to feed you for 6 months, for 3 months, for a year, whatever the number is, you're going to say, well, you know, if there's a slip, if there's a bobble, not only do we eat, but say there's a personal financial SHTF in your house. You've got food for 3 months, 6 months. That's a small scale emergency, and you've just covered yourself hundreds of dollars. It's not the best food in the world, right? It's not lobster bisque. It's not filet mignon. It's not veal scallopini, but it's food. Okay, so why wouldn't you do that? Especially if you're asking yourself, should I prepare? If you're asking yourself that question, you know the answer, and you better get serious about it. And that might be a good way to talk about it with other people. If they say, have you heard about those doomsday preppers, right? Those survivalists. You say, yeah, I've heard of them. Do you think they have any merit? And when the person says, well, you know, they're screwballs, right? That's the first thing everyone does is cover their ass, put the other person down to make themselves look and feel better, and make sure no one around them thinks they're crazy. So they'll say, they're screwballs, but, you know, they got some pretty good points. It's like, really? They got pretty good points? Okay, yeah, maybe their execution of the plan is interesting or unusual or isn't in line with the way they would do it. But the answer that they got some pretty good points, if you're asking yourself, people, the question, should I? The answer is yes. Because it doesn't cost you anything in the end. Because food has value and retains it. Weapons and ammunition has value and retains it. Everything retains its value as long as it is a real investment. So do it. So when someone says, you know, things are kind of weird and dicey, you go, well, do you think you should be saving food? Oh, I don't know. That sounds crazy. Well, does it have any merit? Is there any good points to it? Yeah, well, there's your answer. Get to it. So I'll say to anyone out there who's not doing the most that they can, or you're not quite satisfied with where you should be based on the situation you're looking at, get it done. Your mind is telling you, your conscience is telling you, your logical brain is telling you, do it. Right? So do it. This is John, the Prepared Mind, wishing you a good day.